Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Okay, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما نافعا يا كريم اللهم آمين. So inshallah today I'm going to be talking about Haram bint Malhan. So the theme of her story is commitment, as we all know, like the past great women in Islam. So Haram bint Malhan, who was she? So she was the aunt of Anas ibn Malik, and she was also the sister of Sulaim bint Malhan. So she was like the aunt, and at the same time, that made her like a mahram to the Prophet. So he would be able to like visit her, he would be able to like talk to her, like she was a mahram to him. So subhanAllah, after the hijrah of Prophet Muhammad, a lot of people were fighting about who would host the Prophet at their house, because it was an honor. This is the Prophet you're hosting at your house. And the dearest house to the Prophet, subhanAllah, was Malhan's house. That was the name. Bayt Malhan is the place he used to love to spend his time at. Now this included Sulaim, Haram, and Anas ibn Malik. That was their house. And the Prophet loved to go there because she was like a second mother to him. She used to care for him. She would cook like his favorite foods for him. SubhanAllah, even he would like take his afternoon naps there. And sometimes he would wake up in the middle of the night and he would wake them up, Anas and Sulaim and Haram, and he would say, I'm gonna, let's pray a special prayer together. And he would make dua for them in the prayer that Allah increases their blessings and they would be part of Ahl Jannah. So, and even sometimes, she was so committed to give comfort to the Prophet. Sometimes she would check his hair for lice. She was like a mother to him, She took care of him. She made sure he was groomed. So she was married to, she was a great woman, married to a great man. She was married to Ubadah ibn Samit. Now Ubadah ibn Samit was one of the first people who accepted the Pledge of Al-Aqaba. He was one of the first Ansaris to accept the Pledge of Al-Aqaba. So he was a very great man. And part of the reason is why Prophet Muhammad would visit his time at her house is because also he felt it obligatory that her brother, which was Haram ibn Malhan, he was killed fighting by the side of Prophet Muhammad. So whenever they would ask him, Prophet Muhammad, why do you go there all the time? It's not obligatory on you. He would say, her brother was killed fighting by my side. So he felt it was obligatory as a Muslim that he would pay his condolences over the years of visiting. So about Ubadah, her husband, he was also a fighter. He also used to fight in the sake of Allah. He joined the Syrian army and he participated in fighting until Syria had been conquered. And so this was, after that, Malhan, they had to move, okay? But before that, one time when the Prophet was, this is where it sparked her commitment. One time the Prophet ﷺ, he was sleeping at her house, and he woke up and he was smiling. And she said, Ya Rasulullah, what makes you smile? And he said, I dreamt that part of some of my followers are going to be riding the sea like a king on his throne. And he said, they will be in Jannah. And she said, Prophet Muhammad, she said, Prophet, repeat it?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. So Prophet Muhammad, one time he was, as usual, he would nap at her house. So one time he woke up and he was smiling. And she said, Rasulullah, what makes you smile? And he said, I saw some of my followers, they were riding the sea, they were in a boat in the sea, like a king on his throne. They were proud, they were committed to whatever the cause was. So she said, Prophet Muhammad, go back to sleep and ask Allah, and I want you to see if I'm in the dream. So he went back to sleep and he woke up smiling again. She said, Prophet Muhammad, what made you smile? And he said, she said, did you see me in the dream? And he said, you were amongst the first. He didn't even have to, subhanAllah, he didn't even have to look for her in the dream. He said, you are amongst the first. And that was her dedication. Her commitment was she wanted to die as a martyr in Islam. SubhanAllah, that was her goal. So a few years after the Prophet ﷺ, he died, but she never forgot about his dream. She always said, if the Prophet dreamt of it, it's gonna come true, inshallah. So a few years after, there was an invasion in Turkey. So Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan, he was the leader of the Muslims back then. He asked Umar, which was the Khalifa, he said, Umar, can you please send some troops to go fight? Now Umar, for whatever reason, he just was wise. He said, no, I'm not gonna, I think it was because he said that the loss of the Muslim lives, I'm not gonna let that happen. So he didn't send any troops. After that, after Umar, the Khalifa was Uthman ibn Affan. Now Uthman was the Khalifa after Umar, and still, Muawiyah, he was so desperate, he asked again the request. He sent a request, and he said, can you send some troops? Now, he said yes, Uthman, and he said, but I'm not going to force them. Whoever wants to volunteer, they can go and volunteer and fight in the name of Allah. So when Haram bint Malhan, she heard about this, and she said, subhanAllah, I think this is my chance. I want to die as a martyr. I'm going to go. She was the first one to volunteer. So at this time, her husband was, he was assigned as, before Umar stopped being the Khalifa, he sent Ubadah ibn Samit as a judge and a teacher in Palestine because he was he was an expert on law of Islam. So Umar sent him to be a judge and a teacher in Palestine. And then after that, when the troops, the voluntarily, they came to fight, she was among the first ones. And when she was riding the boat, she looked and she said, Sadaqta ya Rasulullah, that it's happening. She was going to go fight. And of course, when she was there in Turkey to fight, she was assigned a horse, okay? Because it's hard for a woman to fight on the ground in a battlefield. So when she was fighting, her horse, for some reason, it got startled and it jumped really violently, and she fell to the ground and she died from her injuries. But subhanAllah, that was considered in the cause of Allah because that she was fighting in the sake of Allah. And she died as a martyr, just like the Prophet said she would. SubhanAllah.
Very well. Thank you for information about Haram. Yes.